And as a reminder, we also have the Omori Poison the Sous Chef incentive coming up. We're at $850 of $7,500. So listen, we've gotten a good way into that. I reckon we can push that through. I have a $200 donation here from Jer, who says, I don't like horror, but I sure like charity. Maybe this donation will give me the courage I need to get through Spoopy Block. And with that, it looks like we're just about ready for Outlast. It's 100% on PC by Sharkhat. Take it away, Sharkhat.
All right, well, welcome everybody. I'm sharkhat87. We're gonna be playing some Outlast 100%. We'll talk a little bit about what that means in just a second. You guys wanna introduce yourselves?
I'm sirkyle95. I do not run this game, but I've played it casually and I have seen it be speedrun many times, so hopefully I'll be adequate in commentating today.
Yeah, and I'm Zem. I also have never played this game outside of the one casual playthrough I did, and it scared the crap out of me. So I was not a big fan.
Well, perfect, let's go.
It is a scary game.
All right, so we're gonna be playing Outlast 100%. That means we have to collect all the documents around the levels and also record a bunch of things with our camera. We'll talk about more of that in a second, but we can pretty much go ahead and get started here. So time's gonna begin once we start moving. We load into this save so we can skip along intro cutscene. So I think we're pretty much ready to go. So we can go ahead and count it down. So we'll get started in 3, 2, 1, go! Woo! All right. So first things first, we're immediately gonna get this recording here. We're supposed to record a guy in a window. For some reason, if we turn around behind us, we can actually get it without having to move over too much. So hopefully that works.
Saves a little bit of time.
And okay, we got the back. Okay,
Off to a great start.
Yeah, we got. Okay.
Yeah, it was hard to see, but there was a guy standing in the window, and I believe that the trigger is exclusively getting him. Is that it, or like how exactly does that work?
I'm not actually sure what the trigger is because you can record him even if you're facing backwards, and it'll still give you the recording.
There we go. Okay, you have to jump in a pretty precise spot to be able to skip that scaffolding climb there. We're immediately going to be climbing out of the window and jumping on some invisible walls. And the collision of this part of the building just doesn't exist, so we're just gonna jump in and take a little bit of a shortcut here and grab our first document.
Yeah, so in a lot of this game, there's no collision on a lot of the walls above head height because the game never expects you to be able to gain that much height. So a lot of the trickery in this game depends upon gaining height and then just running through walls just above where the collision ends.
So you saw me gaining a bunch of height on that door there. That's called a door hop. Basically the way that works is while doors are opening in this game, they don't have collision. So if you jump into it and then it closes, you get stuck in it. And then when you move, the game resolves that collision by pushing you up. And we use that all the time to get out of bounds. And we're also recording this guy here. For a lot of these cutscenes, you only have to record a certain amount. So as soon as he says can unlock, we're just gonna leave. Kyle, if you want to talk a little bit about the major glitch that we just did there.
Yeah, so what you just saw him do is a glitch called a wall ride. When you're opening and closing doors, the game actually shrinks your hitbox a little bit. And the hitbox doesn't return to its normal size until you step away from the door or the wall. So you can take advantage of that by just staying next to a wall, and you can just run down hallways or go wherever you want. As long as you stay next to a wall, your hitbox remains really small, and that will let you slip through holes in the collision in the walls or just get between doors and in tiny gaps that you wouldn't otherwise be able to slip through.
Yeah.
It's a very, very broken technique, and you're going to see it a lot throughout the run.
Yeah, so we just skipped having to pick up a key card to get into this security room by, again, doing a door hop. The walls up above us don't have collision, so we can just jump in here, interact with this keyboard. Now,
Father Martin.
Yeah, so Father Martin's another important person in the story. We're not going to see him a ton, because obviously we're going to be skipping a lot of the story beats here. So this is actually one of the only times in the game we're actually going to be hiding, which is sort of an intended mechanic. We don't really need to use very much for the speedrun, but we do need to record this guy, Chris Walker, one of the main antagonists, breaking down this door. I'm trying to wait for a specific moment here so that I can break his line of sight. If we go at the wrong time, he'll just keep chasing us. All right, there we go.
Yeah, hiding from enemies is a major mechanic when you're playing this game casually, but most of the enemies are very slow.
There we go.
So if you know where you're going, you can just run and they won't be able to catch you. So in this part of the game, he's dropped down to below where admin is, and he's trying to restore the power. He's actually playing this section backwards. Normally, you're supposed to hit these 2 buttons in this room that he's coming up to now, and then go back and throw that lever, but he just did a clip out through a wall and dropped down and is doing it in reverse order.
Yeah. So that right there is pretty much the same as what you saw earlier, up in, I guess, the library, wherever that was. So we get a small hitbox off of the door there, and then when we walk into the wall there, part of our character model goes out of bounds, which deloads the level, and we use that to get back to this area, because otherwise we're soft locked in that area. One other really quick small thing to note is you can cancel a lot of animations in this game by crouching, so we're skipping all those button presses by just tapping crouch once, very briefly.
Getting another file here.
Yeah, so that's all the items for the first chapter admin here. So there's 8 chapters in this game. If you've seen speedruns of this game before, you might know that you can actually just skip straight to the end of the game right from the beginning. Obviously, for 100%, we can't do that because we need to collect everything, so we do have to actually visit every chapter. And we also save and quit there after getting a checkpoint because it skips a really long cutscene, and that puts us into prison, which will be the next
chapter of the game.
I know this is like obvious considering this is a speed run, but as somebody who really had a hard time playing this game, this just feels really insulting.
Yeah, a lot of the psychological horror of this game is what makes you take time and work your way through it, because you're trying to like figure out where you need to go, and there's not really much indication of where you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
But if you know the route, you could just run. You just blow right through it, and it's a very different game.
It's one of the things I love about speedrunning horror games, because like you said, casually, it's like you're going really slow, you have to hide, it's really scary, but once you know where to go, especially with the use of glitches, you're just kind of flying straight to the end. It's just a completely different game. All right, so after I grab this recording right here, we're gonna be saving and quitting, and the important thing about that is it warps you back to the last checkpoint you have, but most importantly, it saves your progress, so we actually keep the item that I just collected. And we're gonna be trying to avoid hitting any other checkpoints in this level, and we're gonna use this checkpoint as sort of like a starting off point to take a bunch of different routes and grab some different collectibles, and just skip a whole bunch of backtracking in general. So here I'm trying to do another door hop. There we go. And we're gonna do something called a boost up here. It's the same thing as a door hop, except we jump into a wall as it loads in, and that also boosts us up on top of it, so you'll see that a lot. And I also just got a recording from out of bounds all the way at the end of the level. Fortunately, you can actually record things that are all the way across on the other side of the map as long as you're able to aim at them. So that's pretty convenient. So we're gonna warp back here and do another sequence break to try to skip the whole bottom floor of the prison to get up to some other items. So we got to get enough momentum on this platform here. Nice, okay.
That avoids you having to go through the entire process of climbing up there. You just get up on top of that room and then jump and you're there.
All right, so here we're gonna record Chris tearing this guy's head off, and we're going to be also getting a wall ride at the same time.
He said very casually.
Yeah, it happens, okay.
This is a very gruesome game.
Yeah. Okay, so I lost the wall ride, so we're gonna have to do that again, but that's all right. So what I'm going to be doing here is with the small hitbox, I'm going to be jumping in place in this corner, and again, part of my hitbox, or rather my character model goes out of bounds, and that will deload this metal wall right here, metal grate, and so we can just jump right past it while it deloads. Another really quick thing, that's called a door clip right there. So again, doors don't have collision while you're closing them, so if you let go of the door before it finishes closing, it actually just stays without its collision, and then we can just like run through it even though it's closed.
And the doors don't regain collision until you interact with them again. So you can use that to set yourself up for skips.
Let's get another small hitbox to dodge a checkpoint here. Okay, there we go. So that's all the collectibles for prison. So we're gonna warp back to that same checkpoint one more time. And coincidentally, the next level sewers is actually right below us. So again, we can just get out of bounds with the door hop here. We can get on the door. This one's a little tricky. There we go.
Door hops are ubiquitous, but they're also challenging sometimes. They're not exactly perfectly consistent.
Yeah, there's like a chair in your way there too, so it's a little bit more awkward to get that angle. So this is actually the second checkpoint in the sewers. We skipped sort of the beginning of it, but we're gonna backtrack to grab this document first real quick.
I just wanted to say there was that one prisoner that could like see you doing all that stuff. I like to imagine him and Miles have like this connection where like he knows what Miles is doing, but Miles is like, no one will ever believe you anyway.
He sees Miles clipping up through the wall and He's just like, I get you. I'm on that level. I understand.
He just goes like, shh.
I mean, you have to wonder what they think about you, seeing you do all this. You know?
Well,
All
I mean,
right.
all the people here are already crazy, so it's probably like,
Another day at the office
yeah,
for them.
just another day in the office.
They're like, I've seen worse. All right, so we're just going to be running out of bounds here and getting a recording. So this would be a perfect time for to read a few donations.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. We have a $100 donation here from St. Connor, who says, congrats to Sharkhat on getting Outlast back into a GDQ. Now I'm not the only that guy from GDQ in the Outlast Discord. I'm just the boomer now. Shout outs to the entire Outlast community. You guys have done so much to build things up from what started out as just a handful of us. I'm extremely proud of y'all, and I know Albino Hat would be too. Much love and good luck on the run.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, shout outs to St. Connor. He's also ran Outlast at GDQ twice, running all chapters, which is another great category of this game. So thank you very much. You have time for a few more as well.
Oh, wonderful. And just before I do, I just wanted to remind everybody that we do have Omori coming up next, and we still have the Poison the Sous Chef incentive coming up. And I believe it's got something to do with baking a cake and feeding a sous chef. And I hate sous chefs, so let's get rid of it. Let's poison. Digital
Yeah, what a
sous chef.
useless profession.
What a useless profession. Let's poison
needs
that sous chef. Digital sous chef. We also have a $100 donation here, which says, GDQ is getting me through my first week on the night shift at work. Thanks and good luck to all the runners. I can relate. Thank you very much for the $100.
Thank you. I think you have time for one more.
Wonderful. I've got a one here from nerd_squared, who says, congrats on getting Outlast to the big stage, Sharkhat. Outlast is a series that means a lot to me, as the original game was the backbone of my speedrunning career. So I'm glad that it's getting some time in the spotlight, and good luck on the run.
Thank you, Nerd. I appreciate that. All right, so now we're out of sewers, and we're going into Mail Ward, which is the level that's, I would say, probably the most difficult in the run. It's got a lot of very difficult tricks. Speaking of which, first of all, this is called Mail Ward Boost Up. So like I said, if you get stuck into walls and then move as soon as you unpause, then it can boost you on top of them like this. Okay, I got stuck. I'm just gonna do that one more time. So you need to crouch immediately there because the level above you will load in. So let's see if we can do that one more time real quick.
Mail Ward boost up is a bit inconsistent. It's tricky to do sometimes.
Yeah, and that's great because we have to do it twice.
Yes. So what he's doing here is called baby legs.
I
This
love
trick.
baby legs.
So when you crouch in this game, normally you move much slower than your normal running speed. But if you crouch and then jump up onto something that's above where you were when you started crouching, you'll retain the normal sprint speed. So that's why he's so low to the ground and still running very quickly.
Yeah, and it looks pretty goofy because your animation doesn't speed up either. I can try to show that off a little bit here when we get up here. But so we do a save and quit so we can take another route through this level again, kind of like we did with the prison. Okay, nice.
So that is attempt 2.
Yes, you can see it
Baby legs again.
looks a little bit silly. All right, so we're gonna be going over here. We're playing this level very out of order. So we just got all the collectibles towards the beginning, and now we're actually going to go pretty much to the very end of the level and then work our way back to the middle before then skipping to the end again. So we're gonna get this recording from Out of Bounds, jump up in here, we're gonna see this T-posing guy, and then we're gonna listen to him for a little bit. All right, I'd say this is another good point for another donation.
Of course. We have one here from Prolix, who says, hey, why is his name sharkhat87? Oh, I get it. Thank you, Prolix.
Thank you.
And that was for $5. Thank you, Prolix. Also from Disc Golfer 123 with $50. And are you ready for this one, audience and chat? I was the final person to leave work today, so I guess I clocked Outlast. Beautiful. That deserves a round of applause.
Yeah, thank you so much, Disc. I appreciate it.
Got time for one more?
Yes, go ahead.
Awesome. We've got one from Cray H, who says, I love the Scary Block every year and look forward to more runs. Thank you to all the staff and crew who keep things running in the background. Thank you very much, Cray H.
All All right, so right here, the saving quit's actually a bit slower, but because we're going through the level backwards, it lags this cutscene that plays here with this character, and it makes a really, really loud sound. So I figured I would spare you all of that real quick. Oh, Kyle, so this is Traeger cutscene skips. So you want to start explaining this?
Yeah. So what he needs to do is get a very extremely small hitbox by doing a shimmy, which gives you an even smaller hitbox than opening a door. And he needs that small hitbox because there's a really tiny gap between a door and a wall at the top of the staircase that he has to be able to slip through. So then he has to do a wall ride from the place where he gets the shimmy all the way up to the top to where the gap is. And this is actually towards the end of the level. So we're gonna see this guy here with the outrageous glutes there. That's Traeger. He's a character that would be introduced earlier in the level normally, and that's him dead at the end of the level.
So this is the gap you're fit. You see that? You see how big this is? That we just fit our character through that.
That's so cool. That's such a cool strat.
Yeah.
All right, so this trick is really difficult. I don't need to get this, but it's really cool. I only have a few tries at it, so we'll see if we get it.
Yeah, this trick is difficult because you have to do it very quickly. You only have a few attempts before Traeger spawns in.
Okay, no, we
You
didn't
have to
get
get it done before he spawns in, so that way you can go record him.
So basically, when you open the door, it starts a timer, and you have to do a very precise door hop to get up here while dodging this pipe. And if you get on top of that, you can get all the way out of bounds over to another room and grab a document and make it all the way back here before Traeger comes back in. So the trick's called Traeger out of bounds. But the thing is, you only have so much time before he comes into the room. So if you don't get it within 2 or 3 jumps, then you won't get it. But that's fine, because if we get onto the door and we mess up the jump in a certain way, getting onto the pipe, we actually get soft locked and then have to reload and do that entire wall ride all the way back up. So definitely could have been a lot worse, for sure. Like I said, it's not really required. It's more of just like a nice bonus, you know.
So Traeger's alive now. This is earlier in the level, before he gets crushed.
There we go. Okay, so he's gonna start chasing us here.
Yeah.
Oh, he said, "Buddy, let's go." He can say 3 or 4 different things there. That's definitely, I think, my chat's favorite. It's definitely one of mine as well. So that's actually pretty lucky. That's actually funny. All right, so this is that document, that collectible I mentioned. So if we had gotten out of bounds earlier, we could have actually grabbed this and gotten all the way back. I want to explain another piece of tech. You saw it very briefly earlier. This is called a peek clip. So you can peek around corners, but if you move in a certain, like if you run forward after peeking around certain corners, again, your character model clips a bit out of bounds and it deloads the level. So we can actually use that to get past a door there. And now that we have all the collectibles for mail ward, we're gonna hit this checkpoint. Nice, okay, I got that. All right, so that's gonna put us into Courtyard, which is the next level. So we're done with mail ward now.
Thankfully.
Thankfully, yes. Yeah, all things considered, I think that was a pretty good mail ward.
I actually have a question about the game.
Yeah, go for it.
Is this timed in real time or in-game time?
It is in-game time.
Okay.
So the only real difference between what I would do in a PB attempt versus this is I would do some more saving quits, because since the loads are removed, you would do a lot more. Like when I picked up that document inside, I would actually usually do a saving quit because it would warp me back to the entrance. Obviously in real time that's slower because the load is like in 5 seconds or something like that.
Okay.
But that's pretty much it, honestly. It's mostly the same. Like a lot of these saving quits are still fast because they just warp you back anyway.
And that actually wasn't a strat. You were just really scared.
Yeah, no, I know. I didn't know what to do about that. All right, so I want to show you all something really cool here. So this is a dev command here that shows your hitboxes. So you can see this is how big my hitbox is normally, right? So I'm gonna do a wall ride here. You see how small my hitbox is now? So this is actually a door hitbox, for example. And so as long as I stay close to this wall, I'm gonna maintain that small hitbox size. And you'll see here why that's useful. It's essentially the same thing we did before with Traeger, except this hitbox is a bit bigger. So if you see this gap right here, we're not even clipping out of bounds. We're just fitting straight through it, just like that. And you can kind of see how broken that is. And just gonna save and quit there, because sometimes the hitbox viewer causes a lot of textures to glitch out.
So now we're gonna have another encounter with Chris.
Yes, and we're going to be attempting to do something called a ledge run, where we are jumping on the ledge and just being able to run across it normally, whereas normally you'd have to shimmy across it very slowly. That being said, this would be a great time for another donation.
Absolutely. And just as a reminder again, we are currently trying to get to this Amori Poison the Sous Chef. And we have Dr. Spaceman here who absolutely agrees with $25 saying, I'm down with the donation reader. Down with digital sous chefs everywhere. Let chaos reign in restaurants. Thank you, Dr. Spaceman. Do we have time for another one?
Yeah, go for it.
And here's another one from sous chef Spoutmole who says, did someone say they're going to feed me cake? Delicious. I sure hope it's not poisoned. Thank you very much for the $5, sous chef Sproutmole. We also have $25 here from Zombie Care Rod, who says, just got off work and I'm ready to join the horror block. Let's go. Thank you, Zombie Care.
Thank you, thank you. All right, so we did a wall ride here. We actually got a vault hitbox. It refers to where you vault over certain objects like that door there. It's actually a fairly large hitbox, but again, it's good enough to allow us to deload the level there, grab some recordings from out of bounds. That just doesn't have collisions, so you can jump through it. So we're using that as a little bit of a shortcut to grab this document. I don't know if we mentioned it yet, but we're in the female ward now. So
Yes,
we're
third to last level.
Yes, yeah. So we're moving along. Some of these levels go by kind of quick. The last level is definitely the longest by far, but some of these ones right before it go by pretty quick. Some pretty major skips. There's a whole section of this level where normally you're supposed to go get 3 fuses to activate a dumbwaiter, which gets you a key, and that gets you up to the top floor, and then you lose your camera and have to go back and get it, and then it's this whole thing. We're not going to do any of that stuff. We're just going to go straight to where the collectibles are, grab them, warp back, and then go straight to the next level. Speaking of which, that's what we're doing right now. So again, get a wall ride, deload the level, get stuck in a wall, boost up to the top. That gets us up to the top level, and then we're just going to grab these 2 collectibles that are right next to each other. So I'm going to grab this recording, and then there's a document in this other room here. And then after that, again, we're just going to warp back, and we're just going to skip the entire rest of the level and just go straight to return to admin. I think this is another good time for donation if you got some.
Of course. We have here $200 from Anonymous, who says, love seeing so many people from around the world come together to support a great cause and also support going fast. Thank you, Anonymous. And $150 from Kelsey Yum, who just says, woo woo. And we also have from Cupcake VGC, $10, who says, even though I live in a creepy basement, and I will probably still get nightmares, I am excited for the horror block. Thank you, Cupcake.
They have a stronger will than I do.
All right, so we just skipped a very long vent crawl there by doing a door hop and just jumping over into that other room. And now we're going to come back to the bottom floor here, but for now, we're going to jump up to the top by getting stuck in this wall as it loads in. To let us boost all the way up to the top, run past these guys that are T-posing here. Pretty common occurrence in this level. You're gonna see a lot more of that in just a few seconds here.
Yeah, the game doesn't really know how to load the characters in when you sequence break like this, so there's just like the default character models just sitting there doing nothing with no AI.
All right, so again, gonna grab this recording from out of bounds, drop down here, just pause, let the level load in so we don't die. Nice. So like I said, we did drop down to the lower level, but now we're just gonna warp back up to the top. And now we're actually gonna go get one of the longest recording in the entire game. We gotta go down to this theater. Gonna pause buffers, we land on the top, hopefully, nice.
This is when we start to get into the lore.
Yeah, we haven't really talked about the story very much, but essentially, the scientist, Rudolf Wernicke, creates this machine called the morphogenic engine, and they are doing dream therapy experiments to try to get these people to be able to control this thing called the wall rider, the thing we saw outside earlier. It's a whole thing. It's a whole lot of stuff to get into. But
Yeah, and that's why all of the patients in this asylum have all lost their minds, because they've been subjected to this experimentation.
yeah. Well,
It's also why that glitch is called wall riding.
Yes,
exactly.
That's also where the wall riding
it actually took me a while to realize that when I was learning the game, and then someone mentioned it to me, and I just thought, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. All right, so while we're recording this, we got to wait for an audio cue. So I'd say another donation or two.
Perfect.
Got some?
Of course we can. I can see that we're getting quite a bit of love for poisoning this digital sous chef going through for Omori. We've just passed $1,095 out of $7,500. So we're getting there, we're trucking along. We have a donation here for $5 from Doki Hime, who says, putting my donation to poisoning the sous chef. But just wanted to say that GDQ does amazing work, and I'm always proud of all the work all the runners, volunteers, and staff do. Keep up the fantastic work. You inspire others like myself to help through donations, as well as to pick up speedrunning themselves. Thank you, GDQ, less than 3.
All right, so right here, the chapel, which is the next area we need to be in, is just right above us, so we can just door hop, spam jump. Now we're up here. We're gonna start this cutscene, and then we're gonna do a door clip here, because normally you get locked in this room once you pick up the key, and we need to pick up the key to start the cutscene, which we need to record. So, again, we make it lose collision, so we can just walk out here, and then after this, we're gonna need to set up another wall riot, so I'm gonna be closing these doors.
And this is the end of Return to Admin.
Yes, this is the last collectible that we need for this level, and after that, lab conveniently is directly below us, so we're gonna hopefully going to be getting out of bounds and then jumping straight into lab.
Lab is the longest level in the game and also one of the least interesting because it's just there's not a whole lot of trickery that you can do down there.
Yeah, it's weird that the game is so broken, but the last level is so scripted and hard to break. There are still some skips we're gonna do, particularly towards the beginning and the end, but a lot of it is just trying to not forget to grab the collectibles that we need. I'm gonna listen for this audio cue here just so I know when we can leave. There we go, okay. So that should be plenty. All right, so now we're gonna go a wall ride here. Gonna get some very dramatic, loud music here as well. So just being a little bit careful so we don't lose this hitbox. There we go. All right, so now we're gonna get out of bounds again.
This is really dramatic music.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't see it, but they're all burning themselves.
Yeah, we don't really get to hear too much of the score, but it is actually really good.
Love me a good funeral dirge in C minor.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right, please. Ah, okay, we died. All right, that's fine.
It happens sometimes.
All right, so there is a backup for this.
Happened to all those other guys in that one room where they all burned themselves too.
All right, so I'm gonna get a wall right here instead. It's not a huge deal, but these guys are, not wearing a lot of clothes, so I'm trying to potentially avoid showing that if I can. Again, it's not a huge deal, but, All right, so
We don't want to flash everybody here if we can avoid it.
I'm doing my best, Okay, I actually found this backup. I mean, I'm sure someone else has done it before, but I actually found this backup specifically for that reason. All right. Here we go. So what I was trying to do there is I got a boost up as one of the walls loaded in. Unfortunately, we have to do this without the dramatic music again this time. It's much less climactic, but that's okay. All right, here we go. Okay, so basically I need to get the boost up to get enough height to hit this checkpoint, and then I need to turn right and jump with a certain angle so that I actually hit the checkpoint. I'm pretty sure there's a death plane or something, so I'm pretty sure that's what I hit. Okay, that looks better. Okay, that was too far left. All right, we're gonna do that one more time. You know what they say, third time's the charm.
Third time's the charm.
Third time's the
Always
charm.
say.
All right, so while we're setting this up again, if you got another donation or two to read, this would be a good time. Oh, there we go, okay. So yeah, if you get boosted up with some height on these chairs here, if you get a little bit too close to them, it'll lose the hitbox. We're just gonna do that again.
This is definitely one of the more challenging wall rides to do in this game.
Yeah, especially the beginning of this. Right here, okay, nice.
Moving around all this geometry without moving too far away from it is difficult.
Is there like any like nerdy frame data on how far away from the wall you can be while the wall ride still works?
I'm sure that somebody knows that, and now that you say that, I actually do really want to know that, because I'm sure there probably is.
Okay.
It feels like it definitely depends on the collision though, because there's sometimes where it feels pretty free, like you can kind of just run as fast as you want, but there's other times you really got to hold into the wall. Or like in Courtyard, you might have noticed that I jump a lot while I'm doing that one wall ride. And the reason for that is because if you don't jump or go very slow, that looks good. All right, first try, nice, we got it, let's go. Okay, first try, easy every time.
Gets it
First
every
try.
time.
It's great.
All right. Yeah, like I said, that one in particular, yeah, if you don't jump there, it kind of pushes you away. So it might depend on the geometry. I don't know. I'm actually like, kind of curious to know about that now.
So this is lab. This is the last level of the game.
Yes. Okay. So yeah, we hit kind of like sewers. We hit the second checkpoint in this level instead of starting at the beginning. And some of you that have played this before might know that we actually have not picked up some items towards the beginning of the level, and we're actually going to be going back for them. And there's a really specific reason that we're not getting them right now, and we'll get into that in a minute. That recording called Math, by the way. Shout outs to that recording. Many 100% runs have died. To people forgetting to get that, and the reason is because once you hit this checkpoint, it locks the door and you literally cannot go back and get it. So it's just kind of rip if that happens. But we didn't forget, so we're doing good.
Does that happen casually, or is that just because of the sequence break?
Oh no, it happens. Yeah, it happens casually too.
Really?
Yeah.
If you just forget and you run too far, you just
Yeah, I mean,
so cruel.
You can
Go back.
Yeah, I mean, you could go back and load a previous save. You're just not allowed to do that for the speed run
Gotcha.
at least.
Okay.
Yeah. It's because the wall rider comes in and starts a quarantine, so it just like shuts a bunch of the doors. But yeah,
So we're
going
gonna
to
see the wall rider kill Chris here.
Yeah, kill Chris in sort of salty spittoon fashion, and looks like he's beating himself up.
Salty spittoon. Yeah, that
Chris.
guy's definitely dead.
Yeah.
Just a little bit, yeah. All right, so here we're gonna do something called Wernicke clip. So that scientist we mentioned before, he's gonna try to explain himself to us here, but if we jump out at the right time here, we can start the cutscene and also get clipped out like that. And the reason that's important is because there's a door that unlocks only after he finishes his dialogue. So we can take that time to go and grab these collectibles we skipped before, which saves a pretty decent amount of time. Especially because it allows us to, again, skip to the second checkpoint of the level instead of having to go down the normal way, or just hit the first one and grab these items on the way in. We can just backtrack, because we got plenty of time to do it.
Would this be a good time for some donations?
This would be a great time for some donations, actually.
Wonderful. We have here $10 here from Anti-Sous Chef, who says, I don't remember clipping through this many walls or this much Anti-Sous Chef propaganda in Outlast. Did I play it wrong? Thank you, Anti-Sous Chef. We also have here a $15 donation from R. Vance, who says, hi, everyone. It is amazing to watch amazing speedrunners again and supporting an important cause. All the best luck for sharkhat87 and the other runners. Thank you, R. Vance.
Thank you. I think you have time for two or three more here. We just gotta wait for this door to open here.
Sure thing. Chat just keeps reminding us about this Amori Poison the Sous Chef incentive, so make sure you get your donations in as well. Here's from Kimani, who says, if the sous chef eats your poison cake after watching you bake it, I think that's on them. So let's bake a cake for charity. You monster.
Yeah.
All right, I think you have time for one more.
Okay, we have one from Zero who says, for $10, who says, I'm sad to have to miss so many runs live due to work, but on the bright side, that gives me the chance to donate more later in the marathon. MSF is a great organization, needed now more than ever. All the best to the runners and staff. Let's get hype.
Hype! Let's go.
I'm sorry.
No, do it.
All right. One thing I don't know if we've mentioned so far, you see me do it a lot throughout the run, is your jump speed is the fastest form of movement in the game. But
We
the
never
reason
talked about this.
Yeah, but the reason we don't jump everywhere is because when you hit the ground, you have a stagger animation. But for example, here, I have to pick up this document or say, like, open this door. So that interrupts the stagger animation, and it doesn't really matter. So that's why you see me jumping to a lot of places where I have to be standing still anyway. The only exceptions are in water. If you time your jumps correctly, you actually don't get that stagger animation at all, and it's a little bit faster to hop in water. So you might have seen me do that in sewers very briefly. This game also has bunny hopping, but it's a little bit inconsistent. It's a bit hardware dependent because it works more if the game lags. It is frame perfect. We run the game at 62 FPS, so it's pretty precise. On flat ground, it doesn't always give you a frame to V-hop on. I'm not an expert on it, so I couldn't tell you all the technical details, but I know that when the game lags, it works better. It's a bit weird. When you're trying to do a B-hop on something that's not on flat ground, so for example, I could possibly get one here when I jump on this barrel. They're a little bit more consistent. I think sometimes you get more than one frame. It's a bit weird. I don't know exactly how it works.
The B-hopping in this game is so difficult that I believe it's not allowed on official runs. Is that right?
It's allowed for individual level runs, but not for full game runs currently, just because of how inconsistent it is, yeah. I could go for a couple of them here. I'm kind of bad at them, but
I think you should. Really stick it to him.
okay, I'll go for a few more. I got a few in practice just for the meme, but yeah, they're kind of dumb.
It's very difficult to pull off.
Oh, there's one. Nice. Okay. All right. So here we're gonna do a strat called stairs, aptly named because we're climbing these stairs. So it's actually a little bit faster to climb the railings here.
It's just called stairs.
It's just
Very
called
apropos name.
or stairs strat. I don't know. It only saves about 5 seconds if you do it perfectly. I figured I'd show it off anyway because it looks cool. That actually wasn't too bad. Oh, well, unless you do that, then that's kind of bad.
Unless you
That's
fall to
kind
your
of-
death.
Yeah, that jump's a little precise.
But at least we get more stairs now.
We get more stairs. You get to
We
see
get
it again.
to do it again.
You want to see me do it again? Yeah, so that last jump's a bit tricky because if you don't jump late enough, you'll bonk your head and die, as you may have seen just a few moments ago.
Yeah, you really have a very narrow window to make that jump. It's not a
All right, come on, Miles. All right, there we go. There we go, first try, nice.
first try.
First try
Gets
every
it
time.
every time.
Every time.
So I forget, is the wall rider just chasing after you this entire time?
It is, yes, but
Very
it's
slow.
so slow that it really doesn't matter.
Yeah, you can see it. You can see him right here.
Oh.
Well, and there he is. Just chilling. All right,
For like an intangible ghost, walls really do seem to really put a damper in his path.
yeah, it really does seem that way. All right, so I don't know if we explained this. We're disabling Billy's life support. He's the host for the wall rider, the one actually controlling him. We're gonna try to do a trick called Superman here. Hold on, we're gonna do that one more time. I can still do it from there, but I want to show you why it's actually called Superman here.
You got to appreciate the full spectacle.
Yeah. There we go. Okay, nice. Okay. Again, first try every time. So the way that works is once you finish the wires cutscene, it spawns in this cutscene trigger, and you're normally supposed to backtrack and try to jump to climb back down the stairs, but we can just do some fancy platforming there and just jump straight into it. And we're actually coming up pretty close to the end of the run here. We have a few more cutscenes to watch, one more recording to grab, and then we literally limp to the finish line. And then we will hope that we actually got 100% of the items.
Yeah, we won't find out if we did for sure get everything until the end when we actually go and
Yeah,
count.
you'll all find out when I do. So.
And if you didn't, the flogging commences.
If we didn't, we just do it again.
Yeah, we got time for that, right? Yeah.
The GDQ staff's like, wait, what?
Excuse me.
Just be dragging us off the stage.
Yeah. All right, so what's happening here, a little bit of the story stuff is, so we killed Billy, so the wall rider is making us the new host now. Miles is not really having a good day. Oh, I should mention, by the way, you might have noticed Miles doesn't have some fingers. So we skipped a cutscene earlier where we get 2 of them cut off by Traeger. But what happens is if you get past that point and then save and quit and reload, the game just updates the status of your character, so it updates the character model. Your camera also gets a crack in the screen in female ward when you lose the camera normally, but by playing at low graphics we avoid that, so we just do that because it's kind of obnoxious, trying to actually see where you're going. All right, so also can't forget with this recording, that's also very important. We're gonna be skipping also a 10-second cutscene here, I believe is how long it is, just by climbing over that railing. You'll see it, like normally he's gonna stagger.
It's just a cutscene of Miles just falling down.
It's pretty much exactly the same thing as this, but he just does it climbing the stairs. So time's coming up really soon here. We're at 30-ish or more seconds. Once we fall down and his right hand hits the floor, that's gonna be time. So I'll let you know in just a few moments when that's coming up. Unfortunately, there's no way to speed this up. If we could run at normal speed, this would be much quicker, but we're just kind of...
You just got to grit your teeth and get through this last
kind of
part.
making our way. All right, here it comes. This is where this caution tape is here. And time.
Wow.
All right. Well, let's count real quick. All right. So 18, 19, 21, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 30, 31. Nice. And should be 30 of these. So 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30. That's 100%. All right, we did it. Let's go. Okay.
Let's go, Sharkhat.
All right. Yeah, that was Outlast 100%. Like I said, pretty fast, pretty pretty crazy route. Just want to say shout out to the whole Outlast speedrunning community. In general, you all have been great. Found a lot of crazy things in this game, as you all have seen. I don't know if you all have any shout outs or anything you all want to say either?
No.
No.
I don't speedrun this game, so I don't know anybody in the community.
Just thought I would ask. If I don't know if I have time real quick, take about like 30-ish seconds to show something off real quick. That's pretty cool. If we do.
You're going to show off bush
real
skip?
quick. Yeah, if we have time, I want to show that real quick. So we just played that whole video game, right? So it took us about, 20-ish something minutes to get to lab, right? So I just wanted to show this off. Some of you have probably seen this before. It's a pretty famous glitch. So I mentioned that lab was right below return to admin. Well, return to admin is where admin is also. This, like, where you see the building is like pretty much where the level actually is. So lab is also right below us right now. So in any percent, this is what you would do. So we start the game, right? Right at the beginning, instead of going left, we're gonna go over to the right here. And you see this bush.
You just jump over the bush.
Yeah, so
That's
we're gonna.
it.
Oh, nice. Okay.
First.
And then we just jump out of bounds. We hit a checkpoint, and where does it put us? Oh, we're in the lab. We're in the last level of the game.
Wow.
So that's why any percent is about 8 minutes long, because you do this in 13 seconds, and then you play almost the rest of the game glitchless, and that's how any percent goes.
Yeah, so you see why we did 100% for GDQ, because any percent is just...
Any percent is cool.
It's cool, but it's not as much interesting stuff.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
appreciate the bureaucracy here. You're not trying to be like, yeah, it's like really lame and stuff.
Yeah,
We don't want to disrespect the people who run any percent.
Yeah.
8% is sick though. I've seen a couple runs of that.
It gets very optimized, and it's cool in its own way for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely different.
But great job, Sharkhat. Congratulations.
Yes, fantastic run.
Yeah.
Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for watching, and I think that's about all we got. Hopefully you enjoyed the run.
Woo!
My goodness, what a run. Guys, can we get some more hype in the stream room and in the chat for that one? I love watching Outlast speedruns. There's just so many glitches. Before I head on off, I wanted to read one more donation for you. And of course, it's about the sous chef. We've got one here from Magic in the Dark with $50 towards the Amori Poison the Sous Chef incentive, who says, Amori is a game that has meant so much to me and is one of the games I always immediately recommend to people looking for an excellent indie. It's full of spooks, but also a lot of heart. But that sous chef, death to the sous chef. Magic, thank you very much for the $50. I appreciate it. And with that, everybody, that's it for me tonight. Thank you very much for being here, and thank you for allowing me to be on this stream. And I appreciate it. And I will see you guys again later. For now, have a nice break, stretch your legs, get some water, and I'll see you again later.
Well, hello everyone. Oh my goodness, Kung Fu Fruit Cup here. Filling in for you all this evening. Nice, good late night chill time. Been loving this scary block. It's been so good. And also all of the hosts so far this event have been amazing. So everything's going well. Everybody's doing great and been having a great time. How about you all? Having a good time? Yes, that's what I like to hear. Awesome. Alrighty, well, those watching, do not worry. We will be back very shortly, but we do need to do a quick refresh. So try not to panic too much. I promise we will be right back. All right, everybody? Don't be scared. I'll see you on the other side. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. We're back, everyone, we're back. It's all right. It's all right. Stop the panic. We're all good. And maybe for those who are getting that notification and tuning in for the first time, welcome, welcome. We are setting up for our Omori run. Star Smiley is getting ready to do an any % glitched run, and it is going to be fantastic. The Scary Games block is one of my favorite blocks every marathon. You know, it would seem counterintuitive for me since I am not good at playing scary games, but they're so fun to watch, especially speedrun style. Before we get started, I would love to throw in a few donations for you all. We have a $50 donation from King Crimson, who says, looking forward to the Omori run. This money is going towards naming Sunny Tab. Hello, everyone on the Omori Discord. Please help our beloved protagonist of Discord play. These are fantastic. All right, we also have a $100 donation from Clamney saying, let's poison the chef. $50 from Joe, what's this? Staying up late to watch the horror block, even though I have to work in the morning. But the sous chef is so scary. I don't think I can sleep till they eat their cake. $15 from Aerith, who says, I've been so excited for the Omori run as soon as it was announced on the schedule. Such a gem of a game and definitely worth watching. Come on, everyone, let's poison this chef for charity. We have a $50 donation from Wandy, who says a sincere thanks to all the runners, crew, volunteers, viewers, and donators. You are literally saving lives. I love you all. We also have a $20 donation from Phoebe, who says, hey all, I have been an avid watcher of GDQ for over 6 years now. Time flies and the event just keeps getting better. I agree. Greetings from my home in Minneapolis, and here's to a great cause. This is your last chance to get those donations in for the Poison the Sous Chef. We still need quite a bit to go, so if you are donating this evening, make sure you put it toward that incentive. Look for Omori, poison that sous chef. You can also donate toward Sunny's name for Omori, so feel free to get your donations in toward that as well if you would like. Right now it's a pretty close race between Mooney, Tab, and Esteban. Coming back in with some more donations. We have $25 from Smeater saying, sous chef, more like boo chef, because he's a ghost, because he's dead. Wow. This is some very mixed reactions. $5 from librarian_the. Shout out to the screaming sous chef with the poison inside. And $10 from Esteban the guy. Esteban is for Esteban. Really looking forward to the Omori run. It's such a fantastic game, and I really recommend everyone play it. Omori hype? Oh, thank you, audience. $5 from Worm saying, I love Omori so much that I named my cat Sunny. Get that sous chef. Oh my gosh, please tweet out a picture of your cat. I would love to see it. $10 from Steven, who says, need to make sure the sous chef gets poisoned. Sacrifices must be made for charity. We also have $200 from Stickman, who says, been years since the first time I watched GDQ, but some things don't change. Thank you to all the runners and team for the event. $10 from Firefly, who says, I'll take one ticket for the train and one from my cat. Don't forget to add the incentive when donating. And what is this thing I keep hearing about? Prime Gaming? Also, some big thanks to, we have 2 separate anonymous $500 donations. That is fantastic. Thank you so much, anonymouses. Anonymous. I don't know how you say plural of anonymous. Maybe it's just anonymous. $50 from Plebmeister, who says, no way, I love Omori and poisoning the sous chef.
I love Omori.
$25 from Crazy Viking. You guys are wonderful, keep going. And kill the chef, lol. You know, I think now is a perfect time to kind of remind us of where all these donations are going to. You know, while we're trying to poison the sous chef. In a more positive light, I want to talk a little bit about MSF, Doctors Without Borders. Because I think it's important. We got to know where the money's going toward. All of these, you know, it's a wonderful, wonderful cause. Doctors Without Borders is an international medical humanitarian aid organization providing life-saving medical humanitarian care in over 70 countries around the world. MSF is committed to independence, impartiality, and neutrality. These principles are what make it possible for MSF to respond rapidly to emergencies and provide life-saving medical care in situations where many other organizations can't or won't. 90% of MSF's staff is national, meaning they live locally and are from the country where they work. That's amazing. Also, since 1995, MSF USA has allocated 85% or more of its expenditures to program activities. I have so many amazing points here I could read from about MSF. In terms of your actual donations, you know, a $10 donation can purchase 45 emergency food rations for use in a crisis or natural disaster. $25 donation can purchase life-saving treatment for 15 adults suffering from malaria. And it just goes on and on for there. I have a bunch I could list out for you all.